and welcome to Retro Rewind, where we take a look at a subject or a TV episode, something like that from my childhood, and give it a look at. Look at it, talk about it. Eat. So, today I am excited because we are talking about the 2002 crossover episode, 10th anniversary crossover episode, Forever Red from the Power Rangers. And as I said, every Wednesday in February will be Power Ranger related, and I decided to do this one. I watched the episode on the YouTubes. I also have the DVDs, but I have it on two different DVDs. I have it on the Ultimate Rangers, which I already sort of reviewed this, but I'm going to go into more details with this because I was just kind of skimming through the important parts. And I have it on the Wild Force DVD set. So, yes, and by this time, Wild Force was on ABC Kids, because originally it was on Fox Kids, and I know it got up to at least like the annual crossover between the prior season and this season, which was Time Force and Wild Force. That was on Nickelodeon, Fox Kids. I don't know what I'm talking about. That was on Fox Kids. If you wonder why I said Nickelodeon, I got Nickelodeon DVDs stacked over here. That's why I looked at it. It said Nickelodeon. Fox Kids. It was on Fox Kids. I think it said to episode 27. So I think shortly before this. And then on ABC Kids, they would have 2 episodes premiering back to back. So that was cool. Most of the time. Until we got to Ninja Storm, it would be the one from last week and then a new one. It wouldn't be 2 new ones, but they were trying to run out these ones that they had purchased from Fox Kids. But anyway, yes. So, so this was a 10th anniversary special uniting 10 Red Rangers. And if you were like me when I was a kid, you would see a problem with that. I'd be like, wait, there isn't 10. Is there? Because, as you know, there was one Red Ranger in the first 3 seasons. Technically, there was 2 if you count Jason and Rocky. But it was essentially the same team in all 3 seasons. So technically, that counts as 1, right? So where do these other 2 come from? Well, you have Orko from the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers miniseries, who comes in and is voiced by someone else and is never shown outside of his suit because they couldn't get the actor to come back. And Eric, the Quantum Ranger from Time Force. And according to Wikipedia, he was only there because Rocky couldn't make it, but that's not true. Steve Cardenas was called, but I guess he didn't pick up the phone, or didn't get to the phone, or so I don't remember how the story goes, but so Rocky wasn't there. So if you put them all together, these 10, we have Jason, Tommy, TJ. Actually, technically, it's Jason, Orko, Tommy, TJ, Andros, Leo, Carter, Wes, Eric, and Cole. And I'm sorry, Cole is the worst thing about this. I'm sorry, it has to be said. Rick Medina Jr. is a great actor, in spite of what he may or may not have done outside. I think they said he was guilty of it, but what he may have done outside of these roles in Power Rangers. But he was a great actor. I don't think he was particularly ready. I don't know how many acting gigs he's had before this, but by the time he came back to the franchise as Decker in Samurai, he was much, much better. Here, I know he's supposed to be the audience surrogate character, but he's like a kid in a candy store. It's like, I'm Cole. And it's just like, every time he speaks, it's cringe for me. It really is, because it just, I don't know. I don't know much about this machine empire, but I will go to whatever lengths to make sure that the Earth is safe or something like that. Yeah, so let's start off the episode. We start on the moon, or I should say, we start in space on the moon, where we see a familiar hooded person watching over some old Beetleborg customs. Yeah, this is the Machine Empire, and they're played by old Beetleborg costumes. You got the ones I recognize: the Shadowborg, the Ruby Beetleborg, the Emerald one, which is the reddish, pinkish, and the green ones, and then there's like a white one. I think one other one. I think there's 5 in total, but they are the remnants of the Machine Empire, I guess. As Tommy explains later, they defeated the generals, but they defeated the leaders, but some of the generals were still around. Why did it take 10 years? Or 7 years? 6 years for them to do this? I don't know. Were they digging? Well, we'll get to that later, but they're digging up something on the moon, and Andros gets caught because he always gets caught, and he, gets on his astral glider, whatever it's called, and glides away, and we cut to Earth. At a resort called Bulkmeyer's, where we see Bulk playing at chess or checkers, one of the two, talking to Skull. The Skull goes, I once met Rita Repulsa. Bulk says, yeah? So did I. And they're running this place, I guess. It's also hinted that Tommy is actually the boss. I guess even though it's called Bulkmeyer's, but they get a phone call for Tommy. And one thing I want to point out here is, so 2 seasons later, we know that Tommy is somehow a paleontologist, now working at a high school in Reefside. How did he go from owning a resort cabana place to being in 2 years? I don't know. 1.5 years, actually. I don't know. And yes, you could also say, well, this was filmed and done when it was still on Fox Kids. And ABC Kids was behind Dino Thunder, so they changed it. Yes, that could very well be the same thing as they decided to write a whole new backstory. The fact that this aired on ABC Kids should have told them, hey, it's not going to make sense. But they didn't care. They were owned by Disney, who just wants to make money. So, anyway, they don't care. They want to make money. Anyway, so then we cut to Cole and the other Wild Horsemen just make their cameo for the episode. I should actually say that this episode starts off with the Kick-Ass Wild Force theme song, because that theme song is banging the Wild Force. Power Rangers will protect this world to get... It's kick-ass, okay? It's kick-ass. But anyway, so, yes. The other 4 Rangers are there. Merrick's not there at this point, but the other 4 are there, and they make a cameo. As I don't think they have any lines, but Cole is there, and then Carter shows up, which always never really made sense. It should have been Wes and Eric, one of them, because they know them. But Carter shows up to recruit him, and then he's like, huh? And get this look on his face, and so we get to this spaceport, the Nasada spaceport, which was seen in Power Rangers Turbo. And they go there, and they pull up into this garage hangar thing, where right away he sees Wes and Eric, and he's like, Wes, Eric! And I'm like, okay. And like, oh, I see you met the Silver Guardians. And then proceeds to introduce them. And I know, this is for the audience who may not have watched the earlier seasons, because it was on a new channel, so it might not, the new viewers, but this was recorded before that, so that doesn't make any sense. But, this was to inform new viewers, like, hey, these are who they are. Even though if they were watching Wild Force all along, they would know before, but they introduce everybody, sort of. I think Tommy is the only one that's not really introduced. I think. But, yes, so, but he's the obvious one. So, a red sports car drives up and it's TJ. They're like, this is the Red Turbo Ranger, Theodore J. Jarvis Johnson. It's like, you can just call me TJ. I'm like, yeah, that normally they just call him TJ. That's a long name. But he introduces himself, and then Andros comes walking in. I don't know, from nowhere, I guess. And he's like, and this is Andros, the Red Space Ranger, and he's like, you must be Cole. And then like, we've all been assembled here by a veteran ranger, our leader for this mission. And then it's revealed it's Tommy, of course, even though we only saw the back of his head, and now he's got the spiky hair. Had to wear long sleeves to cover up his tattoos. But, yeah, it's Tommy. And he says that there's a great mission on the moon, and the Machine Empire is up there. And they talk about the Machine Empire. Well, I thought you guys destroyed them, or we destroyed the generals, but they're still, and we gotta, go up there and stop them. And Cole does his speech about, I will go wherever I must to ensure the safety of Earth, or whatever. And they go to leave. And Andros was like, wait, isn't there one more Red Ranger here on Earth? He's like, yes, I hope. Tommy goes, yes, I was hoping he was going to make it, but I don't think he's going to. And then Cole, he has his super monkey animal hearing that he has for some reason. And here's a motorcycle coming, and it's Jason. And, he takes his motorcycle helmet off. Tommy says, Jason, because you got to introduce him to the people. And he's like, you didn't think you did this without me, did you? And he's like, you must be the new guy. Hi, I'm Cole. I recognize some of you. Some more than others. And then he and Tommy do that. He's like, I didn't think you were going to make it. You didn't think you were going to do this without the original Red Ranger, did you? And they do the handshake thing. And then they walk all 8 together. We get the walking shot of them walk into the spaceport. By the way, Andros introduces the Astro Megaship Mark II, I think it's called. And every time they show the ship, it's on a green screen. And it's not very good green screen because you have a person in front of it, superimposed in front of the green screen, and it's behind them. And you could tell it's a green. I'm like, ooh, bad green screen. And they do this for like some of the moon shots too. We're going to talk about the moon because it doesn't make sense. But anyway, so we cut to Miranoi, and we see Leo pull out his sword. It's raining for some reason. He pulls out his Quasar saber, and then we cut back to the Astro Megaship where Alpha 5 is there. We hear Alpha 5's voice going, "It's all ready, Tommy." Which, okay, I thought Alpha 5 was retired on Miranoi, or not Miranoi, Eden, Eltar. Sorry. Blech. But, and Andros says that he's contacted Leo on Miranoi and Oriko on Aquitar, and they're going to meet us on the moon. So they lay out what the problem is that the Machine Empire are digging. Digging for what? As Jason explains, Serpentera. And this is the biggest problem with this episode. They frame Serpentera as this big bad Zord that could, like, if it is activated, it could destroy the entire Earth. And if you're like me and had been watching from the beginning, you know that Serpentera sucks. It sucks. You have, every time Lord Zed tried to use it, it would run out of power because you have to recharge it. It sucked. There's a reason why he left it on the moon. It sucks. And they're planning on using this. Do they have like an infinite power cell to put in it? No, they don't explain it. They're just going to dig it up. And like, oh, we got to stop it. It can destroy the entire Earth. And I'm like, not pay attention? Do you not have records of what happened before? Tommy, you were there. Jason, you were there. Did you not see how stupid it was? It just, no. When it worked, it was threatening, but it would run out of power before it did any kind of big damage. So to me, it's not really a threat, but yeah, that's the threat for this. I don't know. The writer's really pushing it on this one. But, yeah, so they get to the moon, and they're fighting in this. They have a fight scene with cogs in this structure that's on the moon for some reason. Hangar that's on the moon, I don't know. They have a fight. And during this, the Machine Empire Beetleborgs start walking like this for some reason. Out onto the moon, and Cole runs out onto the moon to stop them. And I went, you can't breathe on the moon. And he's just there like this. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You can't breathe on the moon. He's not morphed. If it was morphed, that'd be one thing, but he's not. It just does not make it. You cannot breathe on the moon. And he's standing there on the moon. It's a TV show, I know, but despite how goofy Power Rangers can get, it's also realistic at times, and this just doesn't make any sense. It's lazy writing. Oh, we gotta have him on the moon on morphs. So we can do the all morphing sequence on the moon. It makes no sense. So yeah, Cole goes after them, and he is saved by Leo and Orko. Leo demorphs. Orko does not, because as I mentioned, the actor was not available. And they all morph together because we gotta have that. So, if you're paying attention, Leo just unmorphed so he could remorph again. Because we gotta have all 10 of them, 9 of them morph, and then you have to have Orko. Red Alien Ranger, which is not what they call themselves. They're the Equestrian Rangers, not aliens. Fox Kids, whoever was behind this at the time, the showrunners, should know. They were called the Equestrian Rangers, not the Alien Rangers. That's not what they were called on the show. The title, yeah. On the show itself? But, yes, and they're fighting, and there's some pretty good fight stuff in here. Tommy calls out Zeo Power Kick or whatever, and I'm like, when was that a thing? But yeah, there's some good fight scenes here. I can't really break down the fight scenes. I'm not that kind of reviewer. They see that they're getting close to. They've got like Venjix, which is the name of the general, which yes would be used again by Disney later for RPM. Pay fucking attention. Gets to Serpentera. We gotta get back to the Astro Mega ship. We don't have time. So Cole uses his Wild Force Rider, which I need to add, he just got in the last episode. Literally, the episode before this, he gets the Wild Force Rider from Animus. And if he hadn't got it, they'd be fucked. So he's pretty lucky Animus gave that to him. Did Animus know he was going to need it for this? Or not? That was very quick. Or should I say, Kite gave it to him. Yes, that was his name. Kite, Animus, whatever. You thought Air-Utan was a weird name, TJ. Kite. Fucking Kite. But anyway, so he uses the Wild Force Flyer to destroy Serpentera. Serpentera is all powerful Serpentera that can destroy the Earth, brought down by a guy on a motorcycle. Oh yeah, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. And yeah, so with that destroyed, they go back to Earth. They all talk amongst themselves. I don't think Leo is there. No, Orko is. I think they just left. And Cole is like, so that was the greatest ranger, or the best ranger, or whatever. By the way, they call Tommy a legend, and they're like, well, I don't know about that. And I'm like, watch out, Cobra gonna be coming after you. Don't disrespect legends. But no, they start talking about how they were spending, like, TJ's like, I was the one who replaced him. And Jason's like, oh, please. I was the one doing all the work while he was in the juice bar kissing on Kimberly. And Andros like, I saved 2 worlds. What about that? Although we'll get to that because that's not what he says. And then it's like, Eric says, my Q-Rex would eat his Dragonzord for lunch. And yeah, Andros, this is where Andros says, I saved 2 worlds. What about that? Actually, the original line was, I killed Zordon. What about that? But they changed it because, yeah, I don't think you want to be bragging about that. And then the episode ends. And yeah, this is a good episode. Some things don't make sense, but it's Power Rangers. You just gotta let it go. But yeah, it's a fun episode. I do enjoy it. It was fun to rewatch. All the nostalgia. I'm old. So what are your thoughts on Forever Red? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. Ooh! I'll see you in the next one. Got it on me. Yeah.